Hello my friends, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Today I am in Luminar Neo again and I'll be editing a sunset photo. And if you're like me, you love to shoot sunset, of course, who doesn't? We all love sunset, but they don't always look the way they looked. And sometimes I like to add a little bit of dreaminess, a little bit of moodiness to a sunset to kind of accentuate what I felt, right? And so this video is going to be all about taking a photo of a sunset and turning it into kind of a moody, more dreamy kind of look. If you've seen those looks, soft details, nice light, beautiful pastel light colors. I'm going to show you how you do that in Luminar Neo. We're going to use this photo. That's how the photo started. Handheld, just to be clear, did not do a long exposure, no tripod, just handheld. And that's the after, and that's after editing and making a few adjustments in Luminar. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let me hit reset and we'll get started. Okay, so I will skip the first two steps, which were develop raw and super contrast. You can see that in the edit tab, also erase, where I took a lot of footsteps out of the sand and a couple of spots out of the sky. But I used develop raw and super contrast in order to brighten the photo before and after. Lifted the exposure, pulled down the highlights a bit, made some general light adjustments, but I've still got a big blown out spot in the sky and I've got some shadow areas. The red, the way you get this is you hit the J key and that will show you the blown out stuff is in red and the really dark stuff, the pure black if you will, is in the blue. The truth is, no matter what I do to the highlights, I'm not going to recover those, but I've got a trick for that and that's part of the dreamy look. So I'll show you that here towards the end of the video. But this is where I am now after two tools, develop raw, super contrast. And if you guess my next tool to be light depth, then you are absolutely correct because I use it all the time and I love it. And I'm just going to do some really basic stuff here. I'm just kind of brightening, slightly brightening that area, kind of in the middle, kind of along those rocks. And I'm going to leave the advanced settings where they default to, which is the -50 on the brightness, both near and far. But the light depth has given me a little bit of extra pop of light. So before and after, right? Before and after. It's a nice little move, slightly brightens the middle of the photo, which I think accentuates with the light coming in, kind of beaming into that. So I was able to pick up and effectively move around a little bit of the shadow there. Now, because this is going to be a bit of a dreamy edit, I'm going to go into Structure AI, and I'm just going to go about -50 across the entire photo. So if you look at the before and the after, the before and the after, it's quite a bit softer in the sand, a little bit in the water, especially the water here in this, where it's just lapping up on the sand. The water has, in the rest of the photo is in motion. I can't really smooth that out, and that's okay. I'm not really going for that, but I'm going for the soft, dreamy look, and this negative structure helps, and that's why I did not use a mask. Normally, I do use a mask on Structure AI, especially if I'm accentuating detail or going positive. When I'm going negative, if I want a dreamy look, I'll mostly apply that across the entire photo, but obviously it'll depend on the image. In this case, I think it works great on the sky and on the beach and that sort of thing. So before and after, and it has a little bit of smoothing on the water too, which I think has helped. Now, part of this edit for me is the color, which I'm a big fan of editing, as if you've been here before, you may know that. And I'm going to jump into the best color tool in all of Luminar, and that is color harmony. So what I want to do here is accentuate the colors, of course. So I'm going to do about a 5 or so on brilliance and about a 20 or so on warmth. And all I'm trying to do is make it more brilliant and warm. I'm going to show you a trick though on how to manage this better in a moment. Now, split color warmth, this is a key thing for me, and that is I think a sunset looks better when it's not just warm golden tones everywhere, but it has a nice balance of complementary colors. For me, the complementary colors here are the yellows and the blues, right? The warm stuff and the cool stuff. I want to lean into that, play into that because they complement each other, but also it just looks good. And I like to accentuate what I call that color tension, the warm and the cool kind of going to battle or whatever you want to call it. But in this case, they just look really good together. So I'm going to add some warmth. I'm going to take the warm colors, make them warmer. And then on coolness, I'm going to go negative, which is taking the cool colors and making them cooler. So warm gets warmer, cool gets cooler. So I'm accentuating or creating a greater difference between those two kind of color tones, if you will, in order to play up the overall look. So if you look before and after, right? The yellows and oranges are more intense. Before and after, the blues are as well, but we're not done. I'm going to jump into the shadows here in color balance, and I'm going to do about a 20. And this is not going to look very good. I'm going to tell you that now, but we're going to fix it in a second. I'm going to go into highlights, and I'm going to get about a 14 or so here on the red, and like a -7, -8 here on the magenta. And that, my friends, is a lot of color. But as you can see, I've really played into the blue and the yellow, or the warm and the cool, playing off of each other, but it's too much. I want to control that. The best way to control that, smooth it out, control where it's falling in the different tonal areas, is a luminosity mask. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so that's a mask based on light values. And what I want to do is I want it in the shadows, but I don't want it to dominate the shadows. I want it in the highlights more than in the shadows, but I don't want it to dominate it. So I'm just adjusting my tonal ranges here and just smoothing out this mask, because what I do want is some of that stuff to go into the shadow areas. That's the blue color that I did in color balance. The reason I want that is because there's blue up here in the sky, there's blue in these clouds and that sort of thing, and I want to play up that blue and yellow, or cool and warm, kind of that color tension or that interplay. So I recommend experimenting a little bit with your luminosity mask. Every image is going to be different, of course. Play around till you think you got what you want. I think that's probably going to work just fine, which is really heavy in the midtones, fading to the shadows that way, and then upper midtones fading into the highlights that way. And now if I look at my colors, before and after, much smoother, gentler transition between the different color tones. That's because of the luminosity mask. It's so powerful. It's really the best tool, I think, to use on color harmony, because color harmony is 4 different color tools. I use 3 of them, and that luminosity mask helps me control it really, really well. Now, I'm not done with color. The next thing I want to do is go into toning. So that last color tool I separated by tonal area. You're doing the same thing here in toning, but you don't have to use a mask because it separates shadows and highlights. It doesn't come up with anything in the midtones, but that's okay. What I'm going to do here is actually just add a little bit of warmth to the highlight. So I go to a saturation level of about 30. So I'm going to drag that. And then the color hue, which is this next slider, if I move this over to the right, that's not the color I'm choosing, but I want to show you. If you look at this little line, it's got colors and it tells you basically where it is. So all the way at 0 is red, but I'm going to go to about a 25, which is pretty solidly in the orange. So I'm on highlights, and I've got a saturation of 30 and a hue, which is orange, of 25, and that's that orange hue. So before and after, if you look at like some of these clouds up here and these warmer tones that are in the highlights, they're picking up a little bit more. So it's a little bit of kick without overdoing it, before and after. Now, while I'm at it, I'm also going to go into shadows. And what I want to do here is actually the same thing, but a little bit less. And that's what's so great about toning, is because you can do one thing in highlights, you can do a totally different thing in shadows. Or in this case, I'm going to do the same thing in shadows, but less of it, because I want to maintain that cool stuff, if you will, that I put in shadows earlier. I just want to get a little bit of warmth here. So I'm going to get the same hue. So that's like a 25. And then a saturation of like 5, just a minor adjustment to the shadows. All I'm doing here is effectively taking the highlights and shadows, giving them both a little bit of extra warmth with an emphasis on the highlights, which makes sense. That's where the sun is. It's going to be warm, etc. But I'm trying to blend the color look together. That's a great way to do it. So before and after, right? If you look before, more blue, more prominent blue, and then after, a little bit brighter overall. Still got a nice blue because I only put a little bit of warmth in the shadows, but I think it blends those colors together quite well, and I think that just looks awesome overall. Okay, couple more things to wrap this up. As I said, I'm going for some of that dreamy look. There's not really a better tool than Mystical, and I'm just going to slap that on there at about a 20 across the entire photo. And if you look at the before and the after, it actually adds a little bit of contrast, which means the dark stuff's getting darker, the brighter stuff is getting a little bit brighter. So if you look at that before and after, but it also kind of smooths things out. I love Mystical, especially on a sunset. I think it looks so good. Before and after, a nice little bit of that dreamy touch. And while I'm at it, speaking of dreamy touches, I'm going to go down here to Glow. Glow is a great tool. I don't really use it that much, but sometimes I'm going to come in. Sometimes I come in and find that it just works so well. I'm going to go with Orton Effects Soft, and I'm going to give it about a 10. So a 10 is pretty minor, but it gives a nice overall glow and softening to the image. So before and after, you notice it also brightens it a little bit. So it kind of undoes, or whatever, a little bit of what Mystical did in terms of contrast, but it adds a nice little softening and, of course, a nice glow, right? And by glow, it means something's getting a little bit brighter. Before and after, it's overall just a little bit brighter. I think that looks great. And the last thing I want to do is kind of lean into that sunset. It's blown out. I'll hit the J key again. Even with all these moves, it's still blown out, and that's okay. I'm not going to recover it. And I don't care, because I have a trick for that, and that is I come into develop and I get a mask and I get a radial gradient, and I'm going to drag that gradient right on top of that sun. And what I want to do is just have a nice little bit of a fade here. And all I'm going to do is, once I get that centered on the sun the way I want it with a nice kind of generous fade, I come into the exposure slider and I just pop that up a little bit. And I'm going to do about a half a stop, so about a 0.5 or so. But if you look at the before and after, before and after, before and after, adds kind of that dreamy haze, dreamy kind of glow on top of what was already a blown out sunset. So before and after. Now, sometimes you may want to come in and also take the temperature and drag that to the right. And in doing so, I'm kind of pulling out, if you look at the before and after, there it is at 0. And then there it is at about a 24 on that sun, where I've made it all yellow. Now, if I hit the J key, it's still blown out. It's just I'm kind of hiding it because I've made it kind of more yellow instead of just pure white, if you will. So it doesn't really fix the blown outness, but it kind of masks it a little bit. But honestly, I'm going to double click and go back to 0. I'm fine with that white ball of sun just kind of blaring at me there. But before and after, but that little glow I put around it adds to that dreamy effect. And overall, now I've got a dark, handheld, single exposure taken on the beach at sunset. Not low light, because it was golden hour and still the sun was obviously in the sky. You can see that. But as is typical of these kind of shots, the foreground's darker, the sky's mostly brighter, but some manipulation of the light, some adjustments, some removing of details, some softening and all that, able to create a beautiful, I think, pastel, beautifully colored sunset that's nice and dreamy and soft. That's how I do it in Luminar. Hope it gives you some ideas, my friends. Check out my free ebook. It's an editing guide for Luminar. It's available at the link down below. I'll be back soon to share with you some more tips and tricks in Luminar. Thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. And until next time, adios.